My name is George Salas, and I'm your short-term rental strategist. We operate over 50 short-term rental properties, bringing in over $1 million a year in short-term rental revenue, and we're here to serve, we're here to help you out, right? How to identify, find, analyze, and acquire six-figure properties. And the reason why I actually want to cover this particular topic, because it's not just about the listing, it's not just about the property. There's a process on how to really find the niches, because the riches are in the niches, and how we find our six-figure properties. We've got this process that I'm going to teach you right now, okay? So first of all, identifying a six-figure property, there's certain aspects of each property, right? So you need to understand that the aesthetics, these properties are set up a certain way. So when you're looking for a six-figure property, and that is six figures in revenue over a period of 12 months, six figures a year, right? There are certain things you need to look at. For example, one thing you need to look at is the aesthetics of the property. The outside doesn't really matter, but the inside does, right? You need to have a beautiful, gorgeous house in order to hit the six figures. It doesn't have to be $1 million house. It doesn't have to be $500,000 house. It just has to be nice enough, have the right layout, have the right number of bedrooms and number of bathrooms, have the right amenities, right? The structural amenities, the added amenities, the right appliances, and these are the amenities that people are going to love, right? So when I'm identifying a six-figure house, I'm actually looking at all of these points, right? In addition to that, I need to identify if the location of that particular house is going to be good. It's going to be perfect, right? So once I've identified and I see that it matches this criteria, my next step is to be able to find it, right? I identify first the type of house that would bring me six figures a year, and then I'm going to find it. How do I find it? There are several ways that we utilize to find it. One way is utilizing market dashboards in Price Labs, right? And what we do in here is we essentially go and look for the best markets. We take a ratio of about 10 to 20 kilometers in one of the tools that we use inside market dashboards, right? Which is a custom comp set. So we create a custom comp set, and we find out within a mile radius of maybe 10 to 15 miles, we'll figure out what is the best micro market in order to hit the six figures. Because sometimes six-figure properties are not just laying everywhere. Just because a house has 6 bedrooms or 5 bedrooms right across the street, it doesn't mean that it's going to bring six figures, right? So the first step is identifying. The second step is finding the micro market, right? Once you've found the micro market, the third thing you do is you're going to analyze the numbers, because numbers don't lie, right? So I'm gonna take the specs, I'm gonna take the market research, the custom comp sets I'll look for. Now I've got a report and I've got the numbers, and I'm gonna plug them into my spreadsheet and run my investment metrics. And right, once I put my investment metrics, which my investment metrics essentially are gonna be, what is the price that I'm buying the property for or renting it for? What's my rent? What's my interest rate? What are my expenses, right? What other fees am I paying, right? What are my utilities? Breaking down those projected utilities, breaking down any other fees for cleaning over the year, right, that you have. Also breaking out any management costs that you have. And then once you plug those into a spreadsheet, the spreadsheet itself is going to spit out annual and monthly numbers, right? Once you got your annual and monthly numbers, you're going to utilize the same numbers right there to look at your metrics, right? Your monthly metrics will give you your investment metrics. An investment metric that we use in order to invest when we do a rental arbitrage house, for example, is going to be cash on cash return. So we want to make sure that if we put in $30,000 in this house, we get at least $30,000 back the first year, right? Sometimes most of our properties, most of our short-term rental houses bring 100% ROI in 6 to 8 months. The second metric that we look at is the return on investment, right? How much money, what is my percentage return on investment, right? So if I'm buying a property, I'm going to look at cash on cash, but I'm also going to look at my ROI. So for example, if I'm investing in a property that cost me $300,000 all in, right? And then I put $60,000 in cash. That's 20%. That's all in, right? That's all in if I did whatever method I chose to invest in, right? Essentially, at the end of the year, at the end of the day, I've invested $60,000 in this property, right? So now I have my cash on cash return. Now I want to find out my ROI. So the ROI will tell me over the course of my purchase or lease term, meaning if I project this property to create me X amount of wealth, right, and X amount of cash flow in 5 years, what percentage will that be on my investment and on my cash, right? What percentage will I make? So for example, if at the end of 5 years, I have made $80,000, right, or $90,000 or $100,000, then I'm gonna break that down per year, and I'm going to see what is my revenue, right? What is my revenue and what is my ROI? And in all that, we plug into our spreadsheet and we figure out, hey, I'm gonna make 20, 30% on my money, right? On my investment for the next 5 years, which is pretty good, right? Or am I gonna make 10%, right? So nowadays, most multifamily investments are going to give you an ROI of about 6 to 7, right? Cap 6 to 7%, maybe 8%. But with short-term rentals, the beauty about short-term rentals is that you can get up into 15, 20, 25% on your total investment, right? That's the beauty about being in the short-term rental game. After you've identified, found, and analyzed your short-term rental house, your next project, now you know it's going to work. Now you need to figure out if this property, the best way to acquire it is it by purchasing straight up, purchasing it subject to the mortgage, or is it best to rent it with the lease option, right? So this is the 4th step where we go and figure out what is the best strategy to acquire that asset, right? So that's my process for you, right? So we have 4 steps again to recap. We have identify, right, where you identify the specs of a 6-figure house. Number 2, you have find, where you're gonna find the asset that's gonna work best and profit you the best. And then you have analyze, where you analyze the metrics and the numbers, right, to make sure the investment works, right, in that particular area. By the price per square foot, by a purchase price, and then you have to make a decision, right? And number 4 is you make the decision, hey, is it best based on the metrics that I've really found out, is it best to buy this property or should we rent it? Because we're gonna end up putting way too much cash in and we're not gonna get enough out. So sometimes a house could be better in a rental arbitrage, rent to rent from a landlord strategy, right? When you're acquiring a property, sometimes these landlords are willing to negotiate and then rent you the property. Maybe you can pay them a small little premium, right? Or sometimes they want to lease it to you, rent it to you, and then 2 years later, you can have the option to buy it. Or sometimes it's even better to buy it straight up because maybe the market prices might be at the right numbers, right? So those 4 are the steps to truly find and acquire a 6-figure short-term rental property. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel by clicking in the button below. Make sure you ring the notifications, turn them on for you. It helps us truly understand if this is the right thing for you. It helps us truly understand if we're creating the right content. Also, leave us a comment. And if you want to work with us a little bit farther and really want to understand what our strategy on the acquisition side is, please don't hesitate to book a call with my team by clicking on the link inside our comments and hop on the call so you can understand really if this is a good fit for you. If you want to make your move to accelerating your short-term rental journey, we'll be happy to talk to you and really see if it's a fit for both of us. All right, so I'll see you on the other side and I'll see you in the next video.